What's going on, everybody, and welcome to the other side of the Firewall podcast, where we talk about the latest and greatest cybersecurity news, as well as we highlight those movers and shakers and glass ceiling breakers as people of color who've made it to the other side of the proverbial firewall. I'm not starting that over again, so we're just gonna keep it rolling. I'm Ryan Williams, and as always, I'm joined by Shannon Tynes.
What's up? What's up?
LeVon Maynard could not make it. I tripped over my words. We're just gonna keep it going. Welcome to the weekly rundown. So this is the Friday episode where we talk about everything outside of cybersecurity. Sometimes a little bit of cyber in there as well, but movies, books, games, this is whatever we've been doing to unwind. Definitely hit up the other episodes. So on Monday we talked about so we didn't really talk about a camera company. We talked about Bitdefender, who was supposed to warn us about a breach or bug that had to do with a camera company. It did not do so for a very long time. So definitely tune into that on Monday. On Tuesday, we talk about a federal bill being passed to help with collecting metrics from local governments up to the FBI. So definitely tune in for that one. Wednesday, our discussion centered around or revolved around three teenagers who are the culprits of the Lapis. There you go, Lapis ransomware attacks that hit NVIDIA, EA, Okta. The list goes on and on. Microsoft, and just like now they think they've figured out it's these teenagers, and then just our thoughts, our opinions about it. No Ask Us SP on Thursday, and then today, everything else. So how's your week been?
Man, can't complain. Can't complain. I did actually finish up Horizon Zero Dawn. I think I'm gonna go ahead and drop some ducats on that Forbidden West, right?
Like going back to back.
Yeah, look, man, I put in I think it was like 109 hours or something like that, or it might have been more. It might have been like 118 hours or something like that. So
okay.
But again, I'm all for the side missions, right? I said that before. I'll do the side missions and all that. So yeah, I think I'm gonna go ahead and give him a couple of my dollars. Be like, hey, let me get that other one up off you. Finished watching the fourth season of Star Trek Discovery. This fourth season, I didn't think was as good as the first three. And I think the reason behind that might be they had to change the formula up a little bit. So I know that the main character there, Michael Burnham, the captain, she's actually pregnant in real life. So you're not going to see as much of her like in the suits and doing all
the action scenes.
Yeah. So you're not going to see so much of that anymore. And it was a little slower. It was more talking, a little less action. So I didn't enjoy it as much. Not to say it was bad, but if you like the first three, the fourth season is not that.
Okay.
I started watching this TV show called The End Game, and it's got the girlfriend, Deadpool's girlfriend. I can't remember her name, but if you've seen the movie Deadpool, his girlfriend or wife or whatever or is, she's like this Russian like criminal mastermind that's like in police custody or in FBI custody, and she's like set all these things afoot. These banks are getting robbed, and all this other stuff. And then she's picked out this FBI agent to kind of follow the lead of where she's going. And it's only like 6 episodes in now, I think it is, but I think it's kind of interesting. I'm like, oh, okay. She's like, let me tell you a story, and she tells a story, and there's usually a twist in the story. The person in the story that's being told about is not who you think it is, and this, that, and the third. And she's exposing corruption. So even though she's a criminal, she's exposing corruption, right? But it's an interesting TV show.
What platform is it on?
I was trying to think. I was like, is that, I can't remember if that's Hulu or Prime or Netflix. I can't remember. I can't
remember. I ain't got.
I'm trying to think. I think it's Hulu because I think I get the ad breaks in there, so I think it's Hulu.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it's an interesting series. But other than that, not much else, man. Like little stuff here and there, watching some comedy specials and whatnot. But yeah, I haven't seen Morbius, and if I'm being honest, I'm probably not gonna see it. Like the trailers didn't do it for me. And then like I'm just like, I read one review that was like, yep, that's exactly how I thought it was, reading the review. But then you see other reviews that are glowing, you know what I'm saying?
I have not yet.
Yeah. Yeah. You haven't seen a good
Not
review yet?
not one. I have not seen one good review yet.
Yeah,
I
I
heard
saw.
that.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say I heard that the end credits were interesting. I'm like, oh, am I really gonna sit through this movie just for the end credit?
Yeah, who wants to do that, right? Yeah, it's by at this point, it's been out for 2 days, so that end scene's on YouTube. You know what I'm saying? So, like, it's like I'm not sitting through that. Oh, I did watch Moon Knight. I did watch Moon
Okay.
Knight.
What did you think of the first episode?
Uh, it,
People were raving about it, but I just thought it was just okay.
yeah, it was. I think okay might be even be pushing it right at this
Oh
point.
yeah.
And here's the thing: I don't know. I didn't read the comic books that had him in it. I don't know the story behind it, right? So it's like they didn't show you what was really going on until the very end, right? They got that hook in you at the end where it's like, okay, I gotta watch the next one now, right? You know what I'm saying? And I am right because like here's the thing, Disney, these TV series they're doing on Disney Plus, they don't usually disappoint. Like the only one that I was kind of like so on was WandaVision. You know what I mean? And even then, it got better at the end, right?
Right.
So yeah, I'm gonna give it another shot, right? But just one of those once a week things. So I know you're probably gonna wait. You're like, I watched one, but you know.
I want to, but I think it leads up to multiverse of madness, like date wise. Like it's gonna end and then the movie comes out. So I'm sure there'll be some little something, probably some not even that important, but I gotta stay in pace with it now. So
Yeah.
there's that. I thought it was okay though. Like it's because it's supposed to be mysterious and you're supposed to be trying to figure it out, yada yada yada. But for I don't know, there's something missing. Like the actor was good. The story would be something I was really into. Like it's like a Memento type situation, or there's another movie it's similar to. Um, I don't know. I think what they need to do, like I'm Kevin Feige right now. I think what he needed to do was drop 2 or 3 at once. I think that would have been better because I don't want to wait a week to actually now see what's going on, as opposed to just give me 2. I want 3, but I'll take 2. Just give me 2 episodes, one like blam at one time, so that way I feel more complete.
So I think the only streaming service that did that was Amazon, right? They did that
Yeah,
with Invincible. They dropped like 3, and then it was one a week after that. But I don't think I've ever seen it to where that's been the case. Netflix is all at once, right? When they do
yeah.
they don't do theirs weekly. But even with Netflix, I'm kind of like, whatever. But yeah, no, I don't think you're gonna get that from Disney, man. Like they're kind of
No.
running the show, you know. They're like, you're gonna come back. They're like, we know you're coming back,
Yeah,
man.
yeah, I'm coming back. They
So
got me. They got me. What is it?
we're gonna
Wednesdays or Thursdays? Wednesdays, right?
Wednesdays. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it might be Thursdays for you. I don't know how they release it for
I
you
think
over
it's still
there.
Wednesdays. I VPN anyway. Because
Okay.
sometimes I'm running into issues. Like most of the times it works over here, but sometimes it'll be like, can't contact server. Like, what server? Where? If it's over here, maybe like you said, maybe it didn't load yet because of timing.
Yeah.
But I'll just VPN in and back to the States and then just watch that way. But I think it has a lot of potential. And I'm sure it won't disappoint me. I just felt like they gave me half of an episode, even though it was a full episode long.
Mm.
But I'm sure there's some Easter eggs in there. There's a whole character in there. I had to because I go to New Rockstars to get all the Easter egg stuff. There's a whole character in there that I didn't even notice. Like it's not a spoiler, but when he's sitting next to the statue, that's a person.
Yeah, I thought it was a person.
Yeah, so
Uh,
it's a like a name brand actor who has who may have like some real implications in the story. I just thought it was a throwaway. They're
no, it
like they're
definitely,
like
yeah.
look at the credits and then it shows like a man statue or something like that. And they're like, look at the name, and then it's this actor, and then this is the character in the comics. And I was just like, I didn't get none of that. I
So
thought he was just sitting next to a statue.
no, I knew it was one of those performers, right? Because the people came up to take a picture with them.
Yeah,
Right?
but
Like, hey,
I didn't. I just thought it was just throwaway. They're like, no, no, it's gonna be like maybe not a big part of the series, but it's gonna be part of the series. I was just like, I didn't get that.
so here's the thing. Here's the thing when it comes to movies. Like I've been watching a lot of movies, you know, in all my years, right? Movies and TV shows, and like if they spend what seems like an inordinate amount of time on something, you better believe it's going to come into play later, right? If something just seems like a throwaway that they do on, like whether it be an expression or a certain amount of time with something that just seems
Yeah.
out of place, it's gonna come back again. But like I knew it was a person. Like I've seen those people, like when you go to like tourist spots, right? Like they're the ones that are, you know, but yeah, but it playing a little bit more of a role. I don't know. I figured it'd just be somebody that he does that every episode, right? And then I figured it'd be a comedic thing. Like at the end, be like, dude, you just gotta stop coming around here. You know what I mean? Like something like that, right? Or you
Right.
know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, that's interesting then. See, now I'm gonna look that up and be like, okay.
Yeah, I tune into like so, but new rock stars will spoil something for you in a thumbnail. Like they're very detailed. There's a dude named Eric Voss. He writes screenplays, so he has like an insight into the way that it's being written. He can give you some implications and whatnot. And he's a super nerd with a team of super nerds that break down every Easter egg. But sometimes he's so good. Like I don't watch any. Like I watched like maybe two out of the bazillion multiverse of madness once he did, because I learned through Eternals and the Spider-Man No Way Home, he is right. Like he will say, "Oh, I think it's going to be this," and then it's that. And so I tune out now. I'm like, I don't want you to spoil it for me,
Oh,
because his insights are really, really good. So like I'll watch the after Easter eggs now for shows. I don't watch his like we think this is going to happen in the show, because it typically does happen. So
yeah, but when it comes to Marvel, I'm kind of surprised he's right though, because Marvel will do some stuff that doesn't make it into the final cut in their trailers, right? So like,
he's really good.
yeah,
And then he goes into the lore, right, as well. Like so he knows, like for the multiverse of madness, like he starts talking about the House of M stuff from the Scarlet Witch comics, and some other stuff from like he has so much so many resources already out there. Like Marvel might put a spin on it, but he can tell you like, here's the lore and here's where I think they're going to go with it. And being a writer himself, he can kind of like, I guess, read the tea leaves. And he's right a lot. Like sometimes he'll be like, no, I got that completely wrong. Like that character didn't show up. And other times he'll be like, aha. But he's right so much of the time. Like he is a spoiler. So I don't tune in for his preview stuff. It's always the Easter eggs after.
all right.
But but yeah, I like that channel. I like, but yeah, even his thumbnails, you'd be like, man, if that comes true, I'll be mad. Um, but I finished the first season of Picard. I started the second. So far the second is not as good as the first, but I'm
So,
early in.
how many episodes into the second season are
Maybe two. I saw the one with Whoopi playing her original character. So I think I'm on episode two.
you? Okay. Yeah,
Uh,
I got a
that's
guy I work with. I got a guy I work with that he said he's gonna give up on it. Because after the first season of Picard, I was kind of like, I think I'm done with it. And I saw the trailer for the second season. I'm like, it's not for me. And I think he said 5 episodes in, I think is where they're at now. And he's like, yeah, I'm done watching it. And he's like, it's just
mm,
it doesn't do it for me. But he also told me, and I don't know if you noticed this, he was like, between filming Patrick Stewart, he was like, he has gotten older. Like he seems
yes,
way more frail than
yeah.
he did in the first season. And I was like, well, it's only been a year. And I thought about it. It was like, no, they might have filmed it like before COVID. So it's probably been 2.5 years, right?
Yeah.
Since it's filmed it again. And he was just like, yeah, he seems frail. Some of the stuff they're doing, he's like, the characters are just dumb. You know what I mean? It's like,
Yeah.
why would you get close to this person when you know they could do this, that, and the third? Yeah, so he's like, I'm done. I'm like, you definitely don't reassure me. And if you're saying it's not good, I know it's not for
Yeah.
me.
So far, no. Well, yeah, I did notice the difference. I was thinking that maybe they were making him up to look like he's older and more frail, but he might just, I mean, he's like in his late 80s, maybe.
I think he's like 81, 82. You talking about in real life
Oh,
or in the
yeah,
show?
real life.
Yeah, I think
Like
he's
early 80s. I mean,
Mhm.
early 80s versus older 80s. He's
Yeah,
still
like
up. He's,
yeah,
he's, he's still ahead of the curve right there. Um, but yeah, because of the drastic change between the two seasons, I thought they were just making him look older. But it could be that he's up there, right?
He is 81. He'll be 82 in July.
Man, that's crazy. They gotta hurry. They needed to like if whatever he's gonna be doing in the Marvel flicks, they need to record it now. I don't care if it's a movie from 10 years from in the future. Record it now. Record it in 12K because that's what we'll be watching by then. Like build a camera just for Patrick Stewart and record his scenes now.
Yeah.
But what else? So I finished Picard season 1. I started season 2. I did all of the download. I think we talked about that though, or the upload. So I marathon that one. I like it. It's like dark comedy, right? So
I haven't seen the second season, so I watched the first season. The second season I haven't watched, but if I remember correctly, how the first one ended, his girlfriend came in there with him, right?
Yeah.
Fiance or whatever. Yeah. So I guess he's gonna try to navigate that because that was
right.
supposedly done. But yeah, I intend to watch it though. I do intend to watch it.
Yeah, I liked it though. I also marathon. I enjoy things better when I marathon them because I get to see through completion, right? I think it took me 2 days on that one to marathon through it.
That's the better way to do it.
I made myself take a break.
Yeah. That's the better way to do it because there could be stuff I just forgot from the first one. You know what I mean? Because like that first one was a year and a half ago, at least, I want to say for
COVID pushed everything out.
Yeah. So
yeah. I may go see Morbius. It's playing at 5. I may just so I can be part of the cultural zeitgeist or whatever, like pop culture. Like I was there for this terrible movie, but all the reviews are terrible. I'm just like, what is Sony doing? Like I'm not enjoying these movies as much that don't have a heavy hand from Marvel on them from Disney.
So I'm curious, right? So like, does Feige have a hand in this one or no?
It's a Sony one, so they may ask him for assistance, I guess. But this one is all Sony.
Well, doesn't Feige have his hand on the Spider-Mans that are done by Sony or no? Am I wrong on that?
Only because they cross over. So when it's when he's with the Avengers, like
got you.
Okay. That's an MCU flick, or I'm sorry, they're all MCU flicks, but that's a Disney flick. And when he's doing his own thing solo, that's a Sony joint. But they try to keep it consistent. So he has a heavier hand. But like Morbius, he's like, I don't know. Like you want some cameos? I can tell you what they will be doing around that time. You know what I mean? Like for continuity's sake, but that's a Sony flick.
Okay.
So we'll see. I mean, they're trying to build up their own thing. Like it's just not great movies. Like I didn't like Venom. The first Venom was okay. The second one I did not like. Now they're doing Morbius. Man, like the best of their franchise is Spider-Man. So, but I get they're trying to build their Sinister Six and trying to go and do their own thing, like have their own little Sony MCU verse to make that money. But I don't know. Keep dropping Morbius is.
Yeah, at what point do they just stop trying though and give it over to Marvel so it can be successful? You know what I'm saying? Like, you are failing left and right. Like I don't know what it is to where, like you figure they could hire. I don't know if maybe the Marvel writers or whatever, like maybe they just have an exclusive contract to where they can't work anywhere else. But like for Sony, you figure they'd be like, hey, look, we want you guys to write this one as a Sony production, right? You know what I mean? We're not telling you to give us any secrets about what's going to go on if you know whatever. Like because usually Sony is doing something that's not, unless it's Spider-Man, right? That's the only one that crosses over in the Disney's Marvel purview.
Yeah.
But like for all these other properties that they may have, it's like, you know, like I don't know, just hire those writers, man. Do something.
You're right. It was hilarious though, the memes about Jared Leto. They're like worst villain in the DC movie, probably worse whatever in the MCU movie. Like he is the equalizer. And I think he's a good actor. It just I don't know, like bad scripts, bad direction. I don't know. Just not doing it for me. Aside from that though, I've been playing a lot of Halo, so I've been getting through the campaign. It's addictive. like the open worldness of it. So having to clear out the different forward operating bases and headhunting. Like you'll have characters on the map that are Spartan killers. Like they have like reps. So it's not really a bounty on their head, but it's like you need to get rid of them so that the UNSC can come back um, to the strongholds. And like as you clear bases, it's kind of like a Far Cry or an Assassin's Creed type vibe. Because as you clear it, then you find new stuff and you can see further out of the map and clear that. It's a really good balance. Like even on normal, I'm playing on normal, I still sometimes get my butt handed to me because I'll jump right into the middle of a base and just be like, I'm taking it. And they just mob you. So you have to have kind of a strategy when you go in. You can't just like, I'm just going to land in the middle of this base and take it over because you probably get wrecked. Um, so I'm enjoying that. I have not been playing any multiplayer. I don't feel like getting beat down. So that's not on the cards. Still playing Tunic, really enjoy it. Again, it's like a Zelda-esque Zelda. Man, which one is the one where it's like Zelda, not the land. Man, what is it? My memory is shot right now. Basically, it's a Zelda game that was just remade for the Switch, but it's like he uh is asleep basically. It's like this is not canon type situation. I can't remember what it's called though, but it's very reminiscent of that. And then it has some Dark Souls elements to it as well. So like you'll go on a whole run before you get to a save because you find these little shrines that you can light or pray in front of, and then you can save your progress there. You'll get mollywop in between the two and have to start over. You're like, well, that was all me. I went too far.
Is it Link's Awakening?
Yes, yes, it's very reminiscent of Link's Awakening. Thank you. It was killing me. I was like, what is it called? But very, very fun game, very cute, nice soundtrack. Made by pretty primarily one guy. Say like 90% of it was made by one man. I watched the interview with him. He's very humble. Um, but he did everything he could possibly do. And then he had to call in a few people to polish off some of the edges and to do the soundtrack. So I thought it was really good. So far, so good. It's pretty good. Um, and then I got a Series X. It's not here yet, but I finally got a Series X. Mainly because my Xbox One S, I think, is failing. Like I have to keep resetting the NIC because it'll lose connectivity. So I have to unplug the RJ45 in the back of it over and over again until the link comes back on. And then it'll crash in Halo. Like if there's too much happening at one time, it'll crash back to the main menu. So I'm just like, I've had it for 7 years. So
It's about that time.
yeah, it's about that time. Starting to go. So I got my Series X. It should be here, I guess, within a month. And then I'll be playing the Halos on it. I still got Cyberpunk in the wrapper. I gotta unwrap that and put it in there. And that game's finally been fixed, so that's gonna be exciting. I don't have the TV for it, so it will look good, but it won't be great. I should say that. But definitely excited to get my hands on that. And then there was one more thing. I started the Halo series. I don't know if you started on Paramount.
So I was gonna ask you because you were talking about the game. I was like, did you watch the series?
I
And
did.
how was that?
So the second episode, I really enjoy it. People hate it. Like people who have been with Halo for 20 years, they're like, oh, they're like, it is a different timeline. It's like this is Halo TV show. It is reminiscent. It has a lot of the games and movies, but we're not beholden to the story arc of the games, which has gotten kind of convoluted anyway, right? So I've read the first 5 books and all the comics. I watched the anime. Been playing the game since the games came out. Like I'm very invested in Halo, and I don't want to watch. I don't want to watch what I already played. So I love it. Like it's every episode is taking it somewhere. I'm just like, I didn't see that coming. I'm really enjoying the budget's very high. The character dynamics are different. And not really a spoiler because it's all over the internet. So I guess it is a spoiler, but the internet already ruined it for you. He takes the helmet off. People hate it. I'm like, do you really think we're gonna watch this show with the helmet on the entire time?
So I know I've never played the Halo game, but I didn't know it was a book. It was a book series either.
Yeah, yeah. I think they're on like 7 or 8 or 9, or there was a lot of books. I only made it to the fifth book.
So is the book series based off the video game, or is the video game based off the book series?
Primarily based off of like the first three books are based off the game. The game came first, and then they expound upon it in the first three books. Like here's the stuff you did not play, and then from there it kind of takes off and does its own thing. So it goes back and forth. I remember playing. I remember reading the Fall of Reach before the Fall of Reach game came out. You know what I mean? Like so it explains some stuff, and then you get to see the team, you get to play and interact with it. So it kind of ebbs and flows. I only made it to the fifth book though. I don't know if I just grew out of it or just didn't really interest me anymore. It was called, I think the fifth book was called The Ghost of Onyx. Um, and it was pretty good, but then I just fell off after that. And they go in and they name Spartans that you never played with and yada yada yada. But the movie series takes it left. Like you see stuff that you wouldn't have seen in the game until maybe the third game, and it's already in the first episode. So like it's accelerated and it's different. Like some of the characters have the same names, but they have different relationships with other characters. You're just like, oh, these people are related in the game or the books, but they are related in the TV series. Because at the end of the day, is it's only so much you can pack out of like a Halo game will take you 10 to 20 hours maybe if you want to do everything. And then there's multiple of those games, right? Like that's not what I wanted. So they're giving me exactly what I want. Like you get the tech, you get the CGI is really good. Like so the elites that you've seen so far look really really sharp. It's the only character they've put in there, the elites and the prophets, but they haven't put like the brutes or the grunts or anybody in there yet. The armor looks amazing. So like seeing the Spartans in their armor and they're actually like moving around, that's pretty cool. In the first episode, I think you'll like it. It just comes out guns blazing. You just like, oh.
That's for me. Yes, that's for me.
Yeah. So I think you'll like it, especially you're not beholden to the lore, right? Like there's people who just don't like things to be different. And I get that. Like I'll watch a movie that's based on a book and I'm like, man, it wasn't as good as the book. But in this case, I need a reboot. Like Halo, like Infinite, I thought was a really good, not necessarily a reboot, but it wasn't as much stuff packed into it. Like the fourth Halo game was just nonsense. You're like, this story sucks. I don't like any of these characters. So it's in need of it's in desperate need of a reboot, and I think that's what this TV series is giving it. And it's been in production forever. Like this thing kept stalling and not going to happen. It's going to be on Showtime at one point. It was going to be a movie at one point, and now finally it found Paramount, and they're not skimping on the budget at all. Like like just seeing like people roll up in a warthog and it looks like a real warthog. Like it's like this is really good. Like it's like the practical effects are just as good as the CGI, in my opinion.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it a shot. I'm gonna give it a shot.
And I not knowing that you're going to watch it, yeah, he does take his helmet off. Sorry, but it needed to be done.
So here's the thing though. I don't know because I never played the games. I don't know he never takes his helmet off or whatever, right?
Yeah, and in the books they describe what he looks like underneath the helmet, but in the game he never takes his helmet off because you're supposed he's supposed to be a protagonist for anybody, so anybody can be chief, right? You don't know what he looks like and whatnot. But if you read any of the books, they explicitly tell you what he looks like underneath the helmet. And now in the show, they can't make him look like he looks in the books because those they're augmented humans who don't take their suits off like very much, only when they have to. So they're like very like faint looking, like ghost white. Um, like the Master Chief, I think he's a redhead. This is described in the book. Like obviously he's not in the TV show, but you don't see any of this because in the game he keeps his helmet on. There's even an Easter egg in the first game where he takes his helmet off, and they broke the camera off of him through a glitch or a bug or whatever, and you find out because everybody's like, oh, we about to see what he looks like, or at least like a model of whatever because he takes his helmet off. He takes his helmet off and there's another helmet underneath it. They're like, because they knew at some point somebody was going to break the camera to be able to see. So they designed it to be funny. Like he takes his helmet off and there's another helmet underneath it. Because that's hilarious. But on the show, he was like, people were like, oh my God, I can't believe he did it. They're supposed to build up to that. Yada, yada, yada. Like,
Yeah, it's not that serious, right?
right.
Yeah.
Who cares? Like, I'm all about the action. There's a lot of action. The first episode, I've said the second episode, not as much action. Like, they're like, now we have to explain what just happened. Because the first episode was just like pretty good. I would say. You might come back and be like, nah, it was whack. So there's a chance, but we'll see. Aside from that, though, I think that catches me up. And then obviously all the Oscar stuff happened. That's my Twitter timeline for the past 2 weeks. I'm memed out. So there's that. Memed
Yeah.
out. But yeah, that was it for my week. And then next week probably do more of the same. Maybe more Morbius tonight. Maybe I don't know.
Yeah, you'll probably have to let me know. I'm probably not gonna take it in just to be nah.
I could just wait because it's gonna drop soon. Like
So
if it bombs, it'll be streamable pretty soon.
so do you think that's how they do it though? Like if it doesn't do well, like they'll release it out to whatever streaming service sooner rather than later? Or do they
Yeah,
just have a timeline? And this is Sony, so where's it gonna go?
so I think they ultimately always have a timeline, but I think if it does not do well, they release it earlier just to get the streaming revenue. I think Sony joints, do they go to Hulu? Because they don't go to Netflix, they don't go to Prime, obviously they don't go to Disney Plus. I think they go to Hulu. I can't think of another streaming service that they would go to.
I'll have to go and look. Like I don't
Because
know.
No Way Home is streaming now, but who's it
Oh,
streaming?
is it?
Yeah. Look, I'm about to look this up live. It's telling me Amazon, so that means you're gonna pay for it.
Yeah, I was like, if it's Amazon, you got to pay for it. Yeah.
It's on Amazon.
So Vudu, Apple TV, Amazon Prime Video, YouTube, Google Play Movies.
Yeah. But it made a lot of money, right? So it didn't have to, like, you gotta find a movie that failed. Like, where's the streaming at?
Yeah, that's true.
So, but audiences are hungry, right? So they may still watch it. Oh, you know what I just found out that Murder on the Nile, that movie I wanted to see real bad, they only played once. It's on HBO Max, right?
Yes.
I might watch that instead.
Yeah, I did see that. Yeah.
Watch something I want to watch as opposed to just force myself. Yeah, I'm not gonna go see it.
save the money, right? You're already paying for the subscription, so you might as well just
save my time.
take advantage.
Because I don't know, man. Like, it didn't look like, if with the trailer doesn't look good, then movie probably doesn't have a shot. Because it's supposed to take the best of and put in the trailer.
Yeah, for sure.
So
that's what I think. That's what I think these companies, these movie studios are doing now, right? So if I'm not impressed by that, I'm definitely not feeling, to sit there for 2 hours or whatever. I don't even know how long it is. Like, I'd have to look it up and see how long the movie is.
Right. It's probably at least 2 hours with the credits, waiting for the end credit scene.
Yeah.
Probably at least 2 hours. And like you said, it'll leak. So I feel bad, but no, I'm not gonna go see it in theater. Just not getting a good vibe.
That should make Sony do better, right? Like, okay, start hiring, the guns, and the all these other Marvel directors that are out there. You know what I'm saying?
Right, exactly. But that pretty much wraps up for me, my week, man. I plan on doing the same thing next week. Actually get some study in. I'm in a Azure boot camp. I don't know if it's synchronous or not, though. I got to find out. It starts on Monday, so I should probably know that, right? I signed myself up to a wait list, so I didn't expect to get in because I was number 129 on the wait list. I was booked, so I just put my name on it. It was like, maybe they'll inform me about the next boot camp because I'm on this boot camp's wait list. And then yesterday it was like, congratulations, class starts on so. I was like, ooh, it's free. But my Azure self-study is not going so hot. So I'm like, if I get myself into a class, that'll push me forward. So that's the current plan.
Well,
But
good luck, man.
appreciate it. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. Like I'm interested in the cloud, but I'm getting comfortable not studying. Feels great. Taking a break feels great. Um, but with that being said, I'll go ahead and land the episode. Thank you so much for listening. Definitely tune in throughout the week. So Monday, Tuesday were our topics. Wednesday's discussion. No Thursday episode this week. But I believe next week or the week after we'll have a guest. I gotta finish sending him all the information and getting him booked. So definitely have an interesting perspective on the show in a week or two. And then I want to book some more guests out for late April, early May before people start getting busy with summer. You know what I mean? So I get some more people on the show. So be on the lookout for that. You can hit us up on our socials, which are all our names. So the other side of the firewall. And then you can hit me up personally. I'm at RyRy Security Guy. That's RYRY Security Guy. I'm on LinkedIn, Clubhouse, Twitter, and TikTok. And you can find LeVon at LeVon Maynard on Twitter. Stay safe, stay secure.